All right, what's going on? I am so excited to be here. I got some information I want to share with you. Um, been really getting a lot of emails about this, and I've been studying it a lot more lately. So I'm going to try to help out with it. A lot of times, when people get into marketing or sales, they get out there, and what happens is people throw them curveballs, and when they throw them these curveballs, a lot of times they get thrown off, right? And I'm going to kind of help you out. First of all, I'm going to give you some tips that can help you stay in control of your conversations. All right. First tip is this: remember, it is always 5 steps to conversation. It's your intro, your short story, your presentation, your close. And obviously, if they say yes, you get to rehash them. So here's the thing: it's always the 5 steps, but don't forget that sometimes something can happen where a step can get skipped. Like, you don't get to say, hi, how are you, or anything like that. They kind of like come right at it. I'll give you a prime example. You ever been out and about, and then someone, you're doing your thing, you're marketing, and then someone walks right up to you and says, how much is it? Right? Well, if you answer that question, you don't get to 5 step them, right? But here's the reality to it: you really can't 5 step that person, but you subliminally 5 step them by skipping 2 steps. You go right into the presentation, and you should always ask a question. Now, my question for a person who says, how much is it? I'm going to always say, oh, so you're the kind of person who likes to get to the point, huh? And they're going to say, yes, right? So once they say yes, then I'm going to stress the deal. I'm going to tell them the high price, and then I'm going to tell them the low. All right. I'm going to give them the retail price, and then I'm going to give them the wholesale price, right? If you spent $200 on a $10,000 Rolex watch, and someone came up to you and asked you, about it, what price are you going to tell them first? Exactly. You're going to tell them it's a $10,000 Rolex watch. You're not going to tell them you paid $1,000, right? You're only going to say that after the fact, because you got to stress the value. You want people to know, look what I got. And people are the same way. So don't steal that from people, no matter how they come up to you. Just remember, you're always 5 stepping. Sometimes you have to start out in the presentation because they don't want to hear your intro and they don't want your short story. So they say, how much is it? Just assume that they're smart enough to see what's there, right? And being able to get to the point. All right. So that's one of my things I wanted to share with you. Another thing, when people won't stop and they tell you they're busy, what do you think that's telling you? Like, oh, I don't have time, I'm in a rut. It just means sense of urgency. You need to turn it up. All right. Customers always give us good feedback. We just don't listen. They give it to us all the time. So if they say, hey, I'm in a rush, then you got the next person that comes up, if you've heard people say this for a while, hey, I know you're in a rush, really quick. I got to show you this. That's all you got to do. Just get ahead of them. If they tell you, let me walk around and think about it, then listen, you need to get some fear of loss in your life, okay? Let them know. We're not going to be here. We're almost out. It's limited supply. All the things that create fear of loss, letting them know. If you keep going, if you think about it, it's over. Okay. So just give them some fear of loss. All right. And you can look up fear of loss online. Just Google it. Just try to find out fear of loss, things like that. If they tell you it's too much or something like that, then it is. You got to just stress that deal. Make sure you build that value. And the first thing about building value, you got to get them to agree on the high price. That way, when you tell them the low, it makes sense, right? So it's like, yeah, it's normally $1,000. But really, you don't even need to say normally. Just say the exact price. It retails for $1,000. That's typical for something like this, especially if it's going to help you with that, right? Nod the head. And then when they do that, say, but you're, whoever you are, you're a reward shopper, right? You're a special type of member, right? Okay, cool. So what they're doing today, until we run out, they're doing it to you for a low price, the bucks. Always say bucks when you say the low price, okay? Now, those are just some really good tips for you to help you out. Now, this is my favorite tip, and a lot of people run into trouble with this one. It's when you're out and about and somebody walks up to your booth or walks up to your event and they're already there. And then, we walk up and say, "Oh, man, I help you." Like, really? Why would you ask someone who got up to the booth without your help? Could you help them? Or they don't need you. They were avoiding you. So here's how you get a person like this, right? When have you ever been in any store looking for something, not searching? Matter of fact, I hear more people complain about not having people to help them find stuff than I've ever heard in my life. So when people find it on their own, it's because they don't want to help. They consciously came in there to ignore you. So when you walk up to them, don't say that. Just simply ask them a question. So why did you pick that up? Or why are you looking at that? And then their subconscious, which is a problem solver, which loves to answer questions, will respond. And they'll tell you why. And then that'll open you up to do your 5 steps, whichever one this person allows you to do, okay? So just keep that in mind. And my biggest and number one tip of all is sometimes we get key points because not to rip and run and tell. It's not about shooting off a bunch of key points. Practice asking questions. It's a question that helps you figure out what key point a person needs. Like if you ask questions, you'll realize that they don't need all those key points. They only need the key points because you're going to hit a hot button and then they're going to let you know, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And you can give them that key point and then you can stretch the deal and close. So even when you don't know information, remember your weapon is a question. All right. If somebody asks you a question, then ask them a question back, right? You do it in your subconscious already. You already do this. Watch your own conversations throughout the day. When people ask you questions, the first thing you come back with is a question. You don't need key points to protect yourself. You hear me? If I ask a guy right now, "Hey man, what'd you say your mom's name was? Why you want to know my mom's name?" I'm gonna ask another question. "Didn't you say your mom was a celebrity?" See, there you go. Think about it. It helps you. All right. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email, AntonioJohnson@yahoo.com. If there's something you keep hearing in the field or out when you're doing your sales and marketing, I'll definitely try to see if I can come up with a good way for you to rebound from it. But the main and number one thing, always smile, be enthusiastic, and know when to be indifferent. All right. But never not ask questions. Always ask questions, always close. Peace.